In July 1994, every major telescope on Earth turned to face the same planet and watched it get hit. The Hubble Space Telescope locked on and held. The great observatories turned with the night itself, continent after continent, like a relay that followed the darkness around the world. Spacecraft scattered across the solar system swung their instruments toward Jupiter. Humanity has never, before or since, pointed this much glass at a single world at the same time. Because for the first time in our history, a catastrophe came with a date. We knew the week, we knew the hours, nearly to the minute. For more than a year, we had known that 21 fragments of a broken comet were falling toward the largest planet in the solar system at 60 kilometers per second, 60 times faster than a rifle bullet, and that there was nothing anyone on Earth could do about it except watch. And the strangest part of that week is this: the thing the entire world was waiting for had already been dead for 2 years. It began with a photograph that made no sense. On the night of March 24, 1993, at Palomar Observatory in California, 3 comet hunters, Carolyn Shoemaker, her husband Eugene, and David Levy, developed a strip of film and found something none of them had ever seen. Carolyn called it a squashed comet, but it was not squashed, it was shattered. A line of more than 20 fragments flying in formation, each one trailing its own tail, strung across the darkness like beads on a thread. Astronomers gave it a gentler name, the String of Pearls, and it was in the wrong place. Comets belong to the Sun, but this one was orbiting Jupiter. When astronomers ran its orbit backwards, the film told its story in reverse. Decades earlier, calculations suggest sometime around the 1920s or 30s, Jupiter's gravity had quietly stolen this comet from the Sun and kept it. Then, in July 1992, the planet dragged its captive so close that it skimmed just above the cloud tops. Jupiter pulled harder on the comet's near side than on its far side, and the comet simply came apart. The discovery photo was never a portrait, it was an autopsy. And when the same orbit was run forward, the autopsy became a countdown. The fragments would come back in July 1994. And this time, they would not miss. So our species did something it had never done before. It put a catastrophe in the calendar. For 16 months, the fragments fell while the Earth prepared to watch. Observatories canceled their programs. Hubble's schedule was cleared. News anchors learned to pronounce Shoemaker-Levy 9. But underneath the anticipation sat a possibility nobody could rule out, that we would see nothing at all. Some scientists argued the fragments were loose, dirty snowballs that would slip into Jupiter's clouds like pebbles into an ocean. No flash, no scar, no story. Others predicted fireballs bright enough to be seen across the solar system. But the honest truth was that no human being had ever watched a planet be struck by anything, and so nobody knew. And there was one final cruelty. The impact points sat just past Jupiter's horizon, on the hidden side of the planet, minutes out of our line of sight. On July 16, 1994, Fragment A went in. Within minutes, the argument was over. A plume of superheated gas rose over the edge of the planet, visible from Earth, climbing roughly 3,000 kilometers above the cloud tops. Stack 300 Mount Everests on top of each other, and you are still beneath it. The fireballs flashed hotter than the surface of the sun. And because Jupiter spins once in under 10 hours, it could not hide what was being done to it. Within minutes, each fresh wound rotated into the view of every telescope on Earth. What rotated into view silenced observatories. Where each fragment had gone in, there was now a bruise, a sprawling smear of black debris, wider than continents, hanging in the clouds. Then another hit, then another. For 6 days, the fragments came down in a slow drum roll of detonations, hour after hour, while astronomers slept in shifts so that someone was always watching. If the first one had struck on a Monday morning, new ones would still have been falling the following Sunday. 21 times. The largest piece, Fragment G, struck on July 18. Models put its energy in the millions of megatons, hundreds of times the combined yield of every nuclear weapon on Earth released in a single second. The dark scar it left behind grew wider than our entire planet. For weeks, the wounds were the most visible markings on Jupiter, easier to find in a backyard telescope than the Great Red Spot, a world more than 300 times the mass of Earth wore a chain of bullet wounds across its face, and children could see them from their gardens. If you had pointed a department store telescope at Jupiter that week, you would have seen them yourself. Black marks on the face of another world. And if Fragment G had come for Earth instead, you would not exist to watch the footage. An impact in that class is not a disaster. It is a deletion. By every model we have, the kind of blow no civilization survives. But while every eye on Earth strained to catch smoke rising over Jupiter's horizon, one machine was watching the explosions themselves. The Galileo spacecraft was still a year and a half from Jupiter, approaching from an angle no telescope on Earth could share. And from out there, the planet's hidden side was not hidden. While humanity watched plumes climb over the limb, Galileo watched the impacts themselves, alone, and radioed home the direct light of a world being struck. Flash after flash after flash. Then Jupiter did the thing it always does. Within months, its winds smeared the bruises away. The scars that had been visible from backyards on another planet dissolved, and the calm face returned, as if the whole week had been nothing but a rumor. That is when the colder truth landed. In 2009, an amateur astronomer in Australia photographed a fresh black wound on Jupiter. No warning, no comet ever seen, just a new scar the size of the Pacific Ocean. Since then, backyard cameras have caught the brief flashes of smaller strikes again and again. Small, lights that mean something just died against the clouds. Jupiter was never the planet where nothing happens. It is the planet that gets hit so often and heals so fast that we mistook the cover-up for calm. The planet forgot. We did not, because something else changed that week, quietly, in rooms with no telescopes in them. Within months of the impacts, the United States Congress directed NASA to find and track the large asteroids and comets that cross Earth's path. The search that grew into the effort astronomers called Spaceguard. New instruments were funded, whose only job, every clear night, is to watch our own sky, and the catalog of near-Earth objects climbed from a trickle into the tens of thousands. And in 2022, a spacecraft named DART was deliberately flown into an asteroid and measurably changed its orbit, the first time our species has ever moved a celestial body on purpose. Draw a straight line backward from that collision through every survey telescope and every planetary defense office on Earth, and it ends in the same place, July 1994, at a chain of black scars on the face of Jupiter. Tonight, Jupiter will rise looking exactly the way it looked before any of this happened. Calm, banded, permanent, the face that convinced generations that nothing ever happens out there. Now you know what that calm actually is. It is not the absence of violence. It is how fast the violence is erased. Jupiter was hit 21 times and healed and forgot. We were hit 0 times and we never looked away again.